Hey everybody, it's Brooks here, Senior Pastor, First Baptist Church of the Islands. Hope you're having a great day today. Thank you for joining me for today's 5 for 5. So this weekend I was out in the front yard doing some yard work, and trimming hedges was one of the things that I did. And so while I'm trimming hedges, I noticed that in one of the sets of bushes that there was a wasp nest, or I didn't really see the nest, but I saw some wasps flying around. So I knew that they were kind of in that area, but in my brilliance, I thought, you know what? I'll be able to dodge them or something, I guess, if they come out and get too close. Not my smartest moment for sure over the weekend. And so I kept trimming the hedges and keeping an eye out and those kind of things. And all of a sudden, I felt that sadly familiar pain in my wrist where I got popped by one of those wasps. And it hurt. And if you've ever been stung by a wasp, I mean, for the neighbors who are probably watching, it was just sort of, comedy moment, because I let out kind of a scream and probably did a little dance, and it catches you by surprise. And it hurts initially, but for me, something kind of strange happened. Over the next 2 days, my wrist and my hand just got really sore and really stiff and started swelling. And it went probably 6 inches or so up my arm. Even now, it's still a little bit kind of a numb feeling, even though it's getting better. And over that couple of days, it wasn't really the wasp sting, it was the effect of it. As I've thought about that, sin in a lot of ways is very similar. Sometimes we know where temptation lies, and we know where sin is. We know where that line is. And oftentimes we get in trouble at the very beginning, long before we ever get stung by sin, when we begin to think that we can kind of get close and just avoid it at the last second if we need to. And that doesn't work. I mean, typically it always ends up stinging us. But many times as well, what happens is after that initial sin, well, it's the consequences that linger. And the good news is God forgives us when we ask Him to forgive us. He forgives us of all of our sins through a relationship with Jesus. What He doesn't do is always remove the consequences. Now, He'll give us grace to walk through those, but those consequences linger. And many times we don't think about the consequences whenever we're doing business with the temptation in the first place. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 14 and verse 15, it says that each one is tempted when he is carried away and enticed by his own lust. Then when lust has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and when sin is accomplished, it brings forth death. For me, I knew what was there in that bush. I knew there were wasps, and sure enough, afterwards I found the nest and sprayed it down really, really well. They wouldn't give me trouble anymore. But I knew what the issue was. I knew what was there, and I tried to get too close, and I ended up paying a price. Maybe for you, there's some area of temptation in your life where you're getting really close, and you haven't crossed the line, but you're getting really close, and you're sort of talking yourself into how you can handle it. Man, save yourself the pain of the lingering consequences and the cost of sin and the sting that comes when we sin. And just go ahead and create distance between yourself and that temptation even now, and be able to walk without the pain, without the sting, without the consequences, in a way that obeys the Lord. I don't know how this unpacks for you, but I hope whatever God may be leading you to do, man, just follow Him, trust Him, do what's right, do what honors Him, and you'll be glad in the long run. Have a great day.